everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies, featuring the Cooking for Wizards, Warriors, and Dragons cookbook as we make the appetizer, chicken stuffed pastries. This is another recipe with stories, so let's tell this one. And this cookbook's a little bit unique in that it also includes what fictional work inspired it. In this case, Chicken Stuffed Pastries was inspired by Patricia C. Reed's Enchanted Forest Chronicles. So into the story. Originally intended as a standalone novel, Patricia C. Reed's Enchanted Forest Chronicles follows headstrong Princess Cimorone, who decides to run away and voluntarily become a dragon's hostage rather than marry a prince. Cimorone, in fact, creates a new position for herself as Kazul, the king of dragons, personal head chef and chief librarian. In the second book of the series, Searching for Dragons, Cimorone teams up with King Mendenbar of the Enchanted Forest to look for the missing Kazul. Following a lead to secure a magical mode of transportation, Cimorone and Mendenbar meet up with a kind-hearted giantess named Balamor, convince her giant husband to retire, and start an independent contracting business as a cast consultant for other up-and-coming talent. To show their appreciation, Balamor offers Cimorone and Mendenbar a pink teddy bear embroidered flying carpet as well as a resplendent luncheon spread, the highlight of the latter being these delightful stuffed pastries. Probably should have mentioned that I've never read this book and probably butchered the pronunciation of every character in that name, but we'll see how delightful these pastries are because the ingredients for them are waiting for us at the table, so let's move in that direction. For this recipe, we need 2 cups of cooked chicken thighs, 8 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature, a tablespoon of fresh parsley, I'm using prepackaged, a quarter teaspoon each of sage, thyme, and tarragon, a half a teaspoon of salt and of black pepper, a clove of garlic minced, I'm going to use a teaspoon of pre-minced garlic, 2 sheets of puff pastry, and an egg. With that, let's move into the kitchen and start putting this recipe together. In a medium mixing bowl, which this is a little bit bigger than, we're going to take our first 9 ingredients. So we're going to take the chicken, the cream cheese, assuming the container wants to open for us. There we are. Should be able to just drop that straight in. Perfect. Not even much scraping that needs to be done with that, so we're all set there. Sorry, I was looking at the inside for the recipes. Our parsley, which is going to need to be opened most likely. And by opened, I mean the seal taken off. And of course, me with no nails to do this job. There we go. What I do have is a pair of scissors that I can use to poke right through. Even though peeling it off would probably have been a lot neater, getting into it counts for more. Tablespoon of that. Okay. Tablespoon can move to the dishes. The parsley can go back up. Then our other 3 spices, our sage, thyme, and tarragon, will probably need the same treatment. So Surprisingly, no. The sage comes off nice and clean. So there's our 1/4 teaspoon. That'll be a very heaping 1/4 teaspoon. That's a little less heaping, but we can work with that. Thyme. Oh, and the thyme is already coming mostly off. Thyme's going up, and the tarragon. Okay, 3 that peel easily, 1 that needed scissors. Tarragon, the 1/4 teaspoon is going back toward the dishes. The tarragon is going up into the spice closet. 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and pepper. There's the salt. Salt can go back up. And the pepper. There we are. It's being a little bit difficult to get open, but we made it work. And the pepper. Hopefully we won't have another repeat of last week's garbage dump on Mystical Munchies with the dessert chimney. That was bad. And our minced garlic, which this will need to get opened. Easy does it. We'll use a teaspoon of this. That's a very heaping teaspoon, but that looks like the best I'm going to get out of it. Okay. That can get put away. And we're going to mix this up until the cream cheese is creamy to create the chicken filling. So this. I almost wonder if there needed to be something else in here to maybe make it move along a little bit better. Maybe not. Or maybe I just needed to let it sit a little bit longer. Maybe you needed to let the cream cheese sit a little bit longer to get up to room temperature. It seems like it's going fine though. Okay. Alright, let me do a little bit of scraping here. But I think that's probably fine here, honestly. Although the angle's hurting my arm a little bit, but not too much. Grab a spatula out so I can maybe scrape a little bit of this. Back in. Whoop. Alright. I think that'll probably about do, so I'll put that off to the side for the time being, and then we'll bring the puff pastry sheets in shot. I was hoping these would have been a bit warmer, but as the old saying goes, no plant survives contact with the enemy. The one good thing about the pastries being still a little bit frozen, actually probably more than a little bit frozen, is it made separating them in half much easier, which will probably also make slicing these in half. Yep, that'll be a lot easier as well. So we want to cut these into 12 equal portions, well, 12 roughly equal portions. Hopefully the more they stay out, they'll become a little bit more pliable, because we're going to need them to be pliable for the next step rather than brittle. So now we're going to need a spoon out, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place a dollop of chicken filling into each square of the pastry. Ideally we'll be able to fold the pastry together to be able to fold the pastry together after over the filling, bringing the edges together and crimping with the fork to close. But as frozen as these still are, I don't know if that's going to work. So we're going to find out. Plus, that's also a lot of pastry, or a lot of filling. So let me cut that down just a little bit. We'll see how this folds over. Okay, I was afraid of that happening. And it's going out the edges. So it's obviously not going to be perfect, but we'll do one more, see if we get a little better result. Let's take a little smaller dollop. Put that over here. Okay. That seems like it worked a little better. Just gonna hold, I'm crimping, I'm doing all the crimping on the over top of the filling. That way any extra filling drops in the filling bowl rather than on the table, rather than on the counter. But this seems to be working well. So at this point, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. But not because I'm done handling these. The reason I'm washing my hands is I'm actually going to turn the camera off so I can do the rest of these, and then we'll come back with them just about ready to go. It's rare to see an ingredient balance work so perfectly on Mystical Munchies, but in this case it did work out very nicely. So now we're going to make our egg wash. So we've got a cup over here that I'm going to use. We're going to take our egg, crack it into the cup, preferably minus shell. Okay. Shell can hit the bin. The rest of the eggs, once I get these closed up, can go back into the fridge. I was about to say in the garbage, but no, I do not want to throw these eggs away. And then we're going to grab a splash of water, like that. Mix it up. I'm doing all of this off camera. Okay. There's a look at our egg wash ready to go. And then we're going to brush the tops of the pastries with the egg wash. I've got my brush right here. I normally would just do one of these on camera, but brushing these with the egg wash shouldn't take too long, so I'm just going to go ahead and do them all on camera. Especially since the next step is going to involve turning off the camera for quite a while. I do like the way these are looking so far, though. And unlike last week, we haven't had any problems this week where I actually had to go stop in the middle of filming to go check on one of my ingredients at the grocery store. So we've definitely got that going for us as well. Man, that episode last week, though, was not a good one at all. But in unrelated news, I'm actually getting ready. We're actually going to have quite a busy day on the channel tomorrow. Well, it's not going to be a busy day on the channel, but we're going to be putting a few games on the channel, and I'll explain how we're doing that. When we get to that point in tomorrow's video. But I do have a plan of something in mind. I do have something in mind that I'm going to be looking into during tomorrow's video. Okay. So all of these are brushed, and now the oven that's been preheating to 400 will come into play. Those will drop in the dishes. We'll put those in, put these in the oven. Hopefully I've got enough room here without having to move. I think I'll have to move the camera just a touch to get this in. We'll set a kitchen timer for 15 minutes. And we'll come back after that, or when they're golden brown, but I think we'll come back in about probably 15 to 20 minutes. I gave these an extra 5 minutes in the oven because I didn't like how they looked the first time the timer came up. And then I've given them a little bit of time to cool, and they look great coming out of the oven. But how do they taste? Well, let's plate one of them. We'll meet you guys over at my desk for the taste test, and there we will find out the truth. I've got one of the pastries plated and ready to go, so let's give it a taste. It's probably not too hot that I need the fork, but I'm going to play it safe. Honestly, I can probably get by without it, but we're going to stick with it, and let's get into the taste test. Easy to handle on the outside, but still very warm on the inside. This actually did turn out very good, though. It almost feels like raviolis with, it almost feels like, I don't want to say bread raviolis, but they kind of do it. Admittedly, it's been a while since I've had raviolis, so maybe I don't have the best comparison in the world, but no. I really liked it. The only thing I might, well, the puff pastries didn't really overpower it as much as I thought it would, but it definitely is something to note. You can easily skip the puff pastry if you want to just have the filling, and probably have a, well, it would be more of an appetizer, but no, I think you actually do need the puff pastry, even if it's going to maybe make it a little bready. But that is another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. Next week we'll be making the side, baked pears with gorgonzola and candied walnuts. As for the games, the baseball weight diamond is waiting for us in the next 2 videos, as we play Season Ticket Baseball tomorrow and Appa Baseball Wednesday. Both videos will feature extra games on the channel as well, but I'll explain how I'm doing that in Sunday's video. Thank you for watching this video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.